Hi everyone, this is the Billiards Doctor here. Today I'm going to be talking about kick shots. So kick shots are shots where the cue ball has to go off of a rail before you hit the object ball. So kick shot could be where you just want to make contact or you want to pot the ball. So an example of a kick shot is you're trying to make the 5 ball, but the 8 ball is in the way. So you have a cue ball here, let's say, and you want to hit the 5 ball. So you can kick off the rail like that and make the 5 ball. So that's called a kick shot. Another version of a kick shot is where, let's say, the 8's blocking the pocket here, and you want to make the 5 in this corner. You can't bank; it's too close. So you got to kick off the rail. Oh, that was a bad one. One more time. These are really difficult, but it's possible. And you try to kick it into this pocket here. So those are called kick shots. So we're going to talk about today the diamond aiming system that allows you to make these kick shots much easier. So I'm going to put the 5 ball here, and the 8 ball is in the way. And this is a really hard jump shot. So cue balls are here. This is a really hard jump shot to make. So I'm not even going to attempt that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the diamond aiming system to make this 5 ball. So what I do basically is I look at the diamonds and I say, okay, how far away is the cue ball from the object ball? And this basic system I'm going to go over now only works if you're on the same plane, on the same line as the object ball. So I'm the same distance from the rail, I'm about a piece of chalk away, so it works. So I'm going to count over 2 diamonds, and because the angle in equals the angle out, that means that the angle in I have to go must be 1 diamond over. So I take 2 diamonds and I cut it in half, so that's 1 diamond. And I go on the opposite side and I count over 1 diamond, and I put it right there. Okay? So theoretically, if I hit that piece of chalk, if I hit on this point right here where that chalk is, it should make this 5 ball based on just geometry. Let's see. There we go. And I made the 5 ball there. So that's the diamond system, and you can do it at any position on the table. If you're trying to make the 5, let's say again, and the cue ball is down here, right? You could say, okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diamonds, where the pocket counts the diamond too, so don't forget that. So 1 diamond, 2 diamond, 3 diamond, 4 diamond, 5 diamonds over. So you have to count 2.5 diamonds over from the opposite side. So 1, 2.5. So you'd have to hit right here. So if I hit on this chalk line, I should be able to theoretically make the 5. Now let me warn you that the further you get away from the object ball, the bigger the angle in and angle out, the harder that this process is going to be, the less the diamond system works. Because now you have all these different factors that are coming in with the rail. But so that's a basic diamond system. And the more advanced version, which is very useful, is if the cue ball, let's say, it's not on the same tangent line. So we're like this, right? So what you do for this one is you try to use what's called a track. So you use the cue ball track that it would be on if you were using the diamond system from the rail over here. So in this position, I need to make the 5. So I need to go off this rail over here somewhere. So what I do is I say, okay, well, if this cue ball, let's try out the different diamond systems that we can do based on this rail. We could say, let's put it here. Let's say the cue ball would have been here. That means you would go off this rail, and we go 1 diamond over. This is 2 diamonds, we go 1 diamond over. Okay, that one doesn't work. You can see that the cue ball is still very far from that position. So now let's try the next one. Let's try 3 diamonds over. So 1, 2, 3 diamonds over is going to go 1.5 rails. That's going to go right here. So that's 1.5 rails. See that? So if we were to hit the cue ball, if there was a cue ball here on the rail, we would hit 1.5 diamonds. If there's a cue ball here on the rail, we'd hit 1 diamond. So as you can see, the cue ball is closest to this track. Okay? So it's closest to this track, which means we're going to hit right here. Now, because the cue ball is a little bit inside, we're going to hit a little bit further over. So just aim just a tad a little bit over like that. And if you do that, you go. See, every time. So it's that track system where what you do is you say, okay, here's the object ball, this is in the way, this is the cue ball, right? I want to hit the 5 ball in. So what you do is you imagine these different tracks, right? So I'm looking here and I go, the 4 track looks pretty good. So we're going to go 1 diamond, 2 diamond, 3 diamond, 4 diamond. 4 diamonds over, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So we're going to go over 2 diamonds on the rail. So we can go 1 diamond, 2 diamond right here. Okay? And when I look at that track, that's almost perfect. See that track? It's almost perfect. So if I hit that chalk, I should be able to make this. Just like that every time. So it's this diamond system that's really good for doing kick shots. So those are my tips for kick shots. One other thing that's important to keep in mind is that all these kick shots I did, I used just a hair of topspin. And especially for the kick shots where the angle in and the angle out are very steep. So like if I'm trying to hit the 8 ball in and I'm here, right? Like this is a very steep angle. You really don't want to add any side spin. Topspin is perfect. But the further down you get, if I'm like down here and I want to hit here and I'll hit the 8 ball in, I should use just a tinge of running English, so a tinge of right English on this rail to compensate for the kick off of the rail. It's a little bit different. It doesn't come out perfectly straight. So that's something to keep in mind. Something else to keep in mind, obviously, in order to make that theory I just explained work, is that the more English you use, the more it's going to spin off. Obviously, this makes sense. If I use right English on this shot, right, if I'm not doing it, if I'm lined up here, right, and I say, oh, it's only 1 diamond over, and now I have to hit 1 diamond, so I got to hit at this point here. Pick up all my chalks that fell on the ground. If I have to hit here, right, that's 1 diamond. But if I use right English, then the cue ball is going to hit over here. So if I'm not paying attention and I'm, like this, oh, totally missed that, right? And the diamond system doesn't work. So you want to hit that with topspin, and with topspin hitting at that point, make the 8 ball there. See that? So make sure when you're doing these kick shots that you use just a little bit of topspin and not any side spin. And like I said, in order to avoid side spin, in order to avoid swerve and squirt, you want to hit as level to the table as possible. So you want to hit this keeping the cue as level to the table as possible and with that perfect pendulum stroke. One other thing to keep in mind is that the harder that you hit the cue ball with side spin, the less the side spin is going to take. So for example, if this is actually a general side spin principle, if I see the cue ball here, say I put on this dot, I'm going to aim at this diamond right here, so straight shot. If I hit this really hard with right spin, then the cue ball is going to hit off the rail. Geez, a bug's on my table. Are you kidding me? Okay, well, I'll clean that up later. That's kind of a freak thing. Okay, so if I hit really hard with top right here, then the cue ball will probably land over here maybe. So let's try really hard with top right. That one about here, right? Now watch this. If I hit with top right, but I hit it slower, then it's going to even come further. The spin's going to take even more off the rail. So there you go. See, the spin came all the way to the pocket. Whereas earlier with just really hard top right, it hits more straighter. And the reasoning with that is, well, there's multiple reasons, but the main reason is that the harder you hit the cue ball into the rail, the more the rail is going to absorb the cue ball. So it absorbs the cue ball. And when it absorbs the cue ball, it actually sends it out straight. Because what happens is the physics behind it is when you have the cue ball hit the rail, the rail is pushing inward, and it's basically like a trampoline where the forces are dispersed equally from the left and right. You're going to push it, end up being straight out. So the harder you hit a ball into the rail, the straighter the ball is going to come out. So that's kind of interesting. So if you hit a kick shot and you hit it super hard, it's going to come more straight. So if I were to have here and I'm aiming for this corner here and I want to bank it, and I hit with really, really a lot of topspin, I hit really hard, it should hit this rail and it should come flat, right? So just keep that in mind when you're doing your kicks, that the harder you hit it, the more flatter it's going to come out. And that's not necessarily always a good thing. And the same thing being said, if you have to make a really severe kick shot, you need to use a lot of right spin, then you probably want to hit it softer, because softer is going to allow the spin to take more off the rail and allow the cue ball to go further to the right after it hits the rail. So those are things to keep in mind for kick shots. This is the Billiards Doctor. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.